All right, Deadly Tarantula Girl here doing the interview of a lifetime. My beautiful boo boo, Precious with Precious Pythons. And that is your actual name, right?
That is my real name, unfortunately, but I've
That
learned to live with
I
it.
love it. Okay, and I have a guest co-star today. I've got Sydney from
Hello.
MSB. She just happened to be chilling with me for the weekend, and we're like, "Hey, girl, why don't you just come on?" And then John should be joining us um, soon. I don't know where he is, but surely he'll be here. So, oh my goodness, Precious, I have a million questions for you.
She,
Um, yeah, so let's talk about kind of how you got into the exotic world.
so I would say that if we're talking, recently, I got into it like because of my son, which a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people know the story. Like, he asked me for, I think the first pet was like a bearded dragon and then a leopard gecko. And then he asked me for a snake. And I said yes to everything actually, except for the snake. So, and it's crazy because I'm actually not afraid. I don't think I'm afraid of anything, really, any animals, but
Yeah,
I didn't know anything about snakes. So I was just like, I'm not going to go and jump right into that. I felt like they were more complicated
right.
than anything else. So I was a little hesitant. But then I did my research, and it was maybe like a few weeks later, I went ahead and got the bull python. And then I started doing more research. And I think within like a month, I had like five snakes. And then
That's
it
All
just
awesome.
like,
right.
it went up from there.
That's incredible. So, about how long ago was that you kind of got started in the reptile world?
It was 2.5 years ago.
Nice, nice. So, it looks like the beard has joined us, Mr. John. All right, let's get him on. Yay, there he
Anti
is.
beard. It's all gone.
Yeah, hey, it's looking good. It's like filling out really nice.
Yeah, I got tired of doing it all the time and I was trying to look nice for the
Ah,
anniversary. So,
it's
It
beautiful.
does look
Sounds so positive.
I
what
know.
the
I
hell did I
love
just walk in
it.
on? I feel like I'm like in
Oh
trouble right
yes,
now. Is this an
you are
intervention?
good.
you are outnumbered. We have mimosas, so
Oh,
watch
Lord.
yourself.
Maybe I should go grab wine instead of water.
There we go.
You could. You're feeling really good. You can turn that water into wine. Can you tell everybody you had one? Okay, just kidding. So John, we're so happy you're here. We love you.
Hi.
So I know you just interviewed Precious,
I
and
did.
normally it's kind of a lame move to have a guest on your podcast when your co-host just interviewed that person. But
It's
here's the
so
thing
lame.
about Precious. She is so amazing.
Precious? She's
She
so
is
precious.
so precious that she's good enough to do two times in a row.
Thank
Also,
you.
I had a little bit of level up. I had this like crazy like fantasy that we were gonna like hang out and vibe at the show. And then
It was
we
anticlimactic. I'm telling you.
I mean when I saw you it was fireworks and then I had to leave. It was so sad.
It's okay. She left right away, too. I was like, oh, I'm going to do all this stuff with her on Sunday. Oh, I'm already back in Indy.
I was
Uh,
upset with myself because I didn't like
That's
plan to stay for Saturday and Sunday. I came Friday and Saturday, which I'm next time it's just gonna be Friday through, Tuesday or
yeah.
Wednesday or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. You
You know,
should.
the show. Like I'm gonna stay for the whole week.
Seriously. So we've already got some people on the chat that are all excited. Okay, somebody called us gay. Yeah, we are, okay? We totally are. Um, Gerald Taylor said hi. Nick Willis said precious. Arc Arachnus said gay. Yeah, sure. Ramiro said yo. Tavian's World says hey ya. Darren Watson said what's going on. Arc Arachnids then said it's not started yet. Oh, maybe that one was gay. I don't know. We started at
I
like
think so.
4:01. Yeah, maybe they were just excited. I'm expecting to see Precious on Jimmy Kimmel next. Ooh, all right. You'll have to
Wow.
book that
Okay.
one
Thank you for
and
letting
then
me know.
let her
I
know
can make
about
my
it.
way over there.
Yes. So, so your very first reptile was a bearded dragon, is that right?
Yes. Well,
Have you
kind
always
of. When
had?
I was
Oh,
younger, my dad was into like reptiles, like super heavy. So the first that we owned was an iguana, and she was mean. So he never really let us like hold her or touch her. She was like for show, and he did all the caring. So that was technically my first, and I was maybe like 9. And then the second was the bearded dragon for my son.
Nice. So how old
Can you
is your
say that
little boy?
again? Sorry.
What?
Can you say iguana again? I just want to hear it one more time.
Iguana?
She threw some emphasis at the end. She's like, iguana.
Did I?
I was like, did
You're
we
gonna have to
find
go
some
back
new
and see.
fetish from John or something?
Yeah.
I got some ASMR going on right
I just
now.
wanted to see those beautiful lips moving. Iguana.
Right. No, but yeah, that was my second pet, was the bearded dragon.
Very cool. So how old is your son, and how old was he? Like, so surely he wasn't like, Mommy, I want a reptile. And you were like, okay. I'm sure there was like a whole transitional time. Tell us about that.
Well, initially he wanted any kind of pet, a fur baby at first, like a dog or a cat, anything he could like pet and hold.
Right.
But we learned that he was allergic, which we recently learned that he's not allergic. He's just allergic to pretty much everything outside. So when we would recognize he was around dogs and was allergic, it was just him, being allergic to like the dander or the pollen. Yeah. So, but yeah, so he first asked when he was, I want to say maybe like 5 or 6 for an animal, and then we learned he was allergic, and I got really sad for him, like, oh, poor thing, like how terrible that he can't own a pet. So when he asked me to get a dragon, I didn't hesitate. I was like a sucker, like, oh, whatever I need to do to get this pet, we're gonna get it. So we went ahead and bought that, and then he asked me for a lot of things, to be honest. At one point he asked me for a tarantula. And I was just like, no, I can't do that. I cannot.
Keep talking to Marita. I guarantee you she'll find a way to sneak one in your house.
But what's ironic though is that I will say that at one point in time, I think it was last year, I entertained getting a tarantula just to like, I'm always preaching about people overcoming their fear. And I can't, I don't have a fear of them. It's just, it's a tarantula. Like, you don't think that you're going to own that and have it and hold it. Like, I just, no. But like I said, I entertained it last year. And by the time I had entertained it, it had been like a year since he had asked. And I asked him about it again. And he was like, oh, no, I don't want a spider. So he had moved. On from that request. So yeah, I never got into it.
So tell us how you went from having a couple reptiles to becoming a ball python breeder.
Like it started out as like a fascination. I think I moved really fast from pet owner to I want to breed these things. And it was just kind of like an interest, like a curiosity at first. And then I think when you start researching like ball python breeding and breeders, you kind of see the world of hobbyists. It's not just the animals. Like you see the people and what they're doing. And that sparked interest in me. So I kind of started putting my mindset at, well, if I were to kind of start breeding, what would that look like as a business? What would that look like as a logo? What would that look like as a, entrepreneurship? So the more I start, and then it's just me, the more I entertain anything, the more it just becomes like a reality. Like I just have no chill at all. It's like I go from 0 to 100 like immediately. And that's kind of how it happened with the snakes. So we had the one, and the first one was a banana pastel het clown ball python.
Damn. That was your first ball python?
Yeah, which is so funny because I still think that's like, nothing. But yeah, it was the first one. And I think the second one that I had bought was from Dynasty Reptiles, and it was a banana cinnamon butter. And I got those both as babies. And from there, and then my third one was like a spider, right? It was a fire spider, right? And I just liked the way it looked. I knew nothing about like, the issues or whatever that it had. Right. I was just like attracted to, I would say pattern. I came in like very much attracted to pattern versus color. And then it kind of evolved into color. And now I just, you kind of like what you like as a hobbyist. But So yeah, it just kind of developed very fast. And I would say within 4 months of having the first one, I was ready to like, I want a logo and I want to do this seriously and see where this kind of goes. And yeah.
Okay. So way more important question than how you got started. I want to hear the story of your logo because I think it's the best out there.
Yes, I love your logo.
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't know if we
Well-
can show it somehow. John, can you pull it up or something? Oh, well, there we go.
Oh,
She
yeah.
has it on right now.
Yeah.
She's just gotta stand up.
Oh, girl.
So
Damn.
well, you know, when I first started like doing like research about the bull pythons, I learned that they originate in they originate in Western Africa.
Mhm.
And my mom, I am Nigerian, so I was fascinated that they were African snakes. Like I was just
Right.
like, say what? Like, you know, like there's no way that this is a thing. And then reading further about them, they were imported into Egypt.
Mhm.
And I feel like, you know, everybody knows just like via basic history lessons that, you know, Cleopatra was into snakes. There's
Mhm.
rumors that she got killed by a snake and bit by a snake, and you know that's how she died, which I don't think
Right.
that, to be honest. But you know, it's out there already that they were heavily into snakes in Egypt. So
Mhm.
you know, then I learned that that's where the name royal pythons come from, and that they walked around the palace wearing them like jewelry. And I was, I guess, kind of fascinated. I thought that was kind of cool, you know. So I started thinking that I wanted Cleopatra to be like my, you know, inspiration for my logo. I wanted her to be a part of that logo because it would represent them being African snakes and them being jewelry and designer kind of like, you know, items, you know. So once I did that, I got my logo from Fiverr. I don't know if you guys have heard of that app. Like,
Oh yeah, I have.
Mhm.
so I just went on there and I kind of showed a picture, like it was like a graphic art of Cleopatra, like holding a snake, and then told him exactly how I wanted it, like where I wanted Precious Pythons to be. I put pure royalty in there and all that. And it was like the first draft. He came up with it. I was like, wow. Yeah. You know, like it was really, really good. He had other versions of it, like a cartoon
mock-ups.
Yeah. And this was the best one. So that's the one I chose. And then I also have like that other Precious Pythons logo that I use sometimes like at the end of my videos. And I have like, I give out stickers. That was also another version, which I really liked, but I liked this one better. So
wow. That's amazing. I mean, it doesn't normally come that easily. So that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it was kind of meant to be. So that's really awesome.
Thanks.
Wow. Yeah, I want to rock that for sure.
It's so funny because I didn't know it was going to be so well liked, because I know that when I first put it out, my my friends and my family were appalled. They were like, "Is her nipple showing?" No, you got to erase the nipple. I mean, everything else is fine, but take away the nipple. And I'm like, I mean, you know, this is how they dress. So well, I don't see anything.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with nipples. We're in a whole new world these days.
Oh, like what are you talking about? I mean, it was so funny how they were so like just taken aback by it. They're just like, that's inappropriate. You know, my dad saw it and he was just like, no. It cannot be. Like, it was horrible. Like, they were so dramatic about it. I almost didn't use it because of them. But then I was just like, this is my shit. I'm gonna do what I want.
Hell
and
yeah.
I did. So yeah.
I have to say, in this hobby, sometimes I get overwhelmed by ugly, boring man stuff. I do love you, John, but
Attack!
golly,
Attack!
just, like, have some
Jesus.
creativity. You're not
What are you
outnumbered
talking
here
about?
at all.
What are you talking about?
No, I just like, okay, I don't know. Like, Sydney's logo is fucking bomb. It's 3 letters, but it's just done like beautifully, artistically.
I am getting attacked right now. What the
No, yours is good too. Yours isn't boring, but just like, I get so sick of seeing boring stuff. And yours is so beautiful. Like, even if I didn't like you, I think I'd be like, I need me some of that swag anyway. But I do like you, so it's even better. Yes. So jump in anytime, guys, because I'm just like too
Oh,
excited.
I have a question.
Yeah,
So
okay,
what
go.
are your like ultimate goals? I love hearing this from women in the hobby.
Yes.
Like, what do you want to work with? How big do you want to get? What's your favorite snake? Do you work with anything other than ball pythons?
So I don't work with anything other than ball pythons right now, but I do want to venture out into carpet pythons. I think they're amazing. I think the first time I held a carpet python, I was at Cold Blooded Cafe. And they have like just, all kinds of animals, but they're beautiful. And then when I was at the show in Arlington, Corey Martin had some carpets at her. And I mean, the baby, they're just beautiful. Like, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting into carpets. And then, but I feel like that's still like much further down the line because I want to make sure that I know what I'm doing, before I take that leap. As far as how big I want to get, I feel like I'm still trying to determine that myself because I feel like I went into this like I'm not going to own any more than, well, I mean, that number has definitely changed, but I feel like I was stuck at, I don't want to own any more than 50. Like recently I haven't gone over that number in my head, but now I'm like, okay, you got 40. You got how many clutches coming up? That's
right.
So I know for sure I'm going to surpass that. But, I think about some of like my idols in, the industry and they're like, yeah, we have 700. I'm like, how? It's like, I picture myself wanting to like work with so many morphs and do this for so long. And, it's hard to imagine being able to do that when you're capped at 100 ball pythons with the mixture of like babies, juveniles and hatchlings.
Right.
I think I'm not gonna put a ceiling above me for that right now.
Great answer.
Right. So like I just want to kind of go with how it fits into my life versus limiting myself like right at this moment. So I feel like sky's the limit. However big I get, I'm just gonna kind of open my arms up to it versus, try to shut myself off. And then, I know that like when I first got into this, like the first year, I knew I wanted to get into other morphs. Like I was looking up like blood pythons, I was looking up Burmese pythons, and I know I didn't have the space, but knew that I would have the space eventually. But right now, all that's like still up in the air. I feel like I don't want to think about what I want to get into until I actually have the space and know what I can manage.
Right.
I like it.
Is this the new house or are you still in the old house right now?
This is the old house. So I won't be in the new house. They just broke ground. They just started construction.
Right.
I won't be there until like November-ish.
Oh, wow.
I have a lot of time. And then I know like me and Ryan Hayes at 31 South Exotic, we talk all the time about like what we want to do with this. And I'm telling you, like the more I do this, the more I hate my day job. Like it's just inevitable. I've tried to go back to loving my job, but I just can't. It's done.
That's how I am. That's exactly. We just had to talk about that today and yesterday.
Yes,
Maria was like, "Are you going back?" And I was like, "I don't want to. This is so much fun, and I don't gotta like deal with other people unless I want to."
Well, she just graduated with what, like an aeronautical engineering degree?
Yeah. No, you did not. That's amazing.
She's like, I could just aeronautically engineer some reptiles.
Right.
Oh, but seriously, but it's so much more fun to just be able to control your future like that instead of having to deal with, not deal with, but put into someone else's dream instead of your own. So I think it's definitely, this is so much more rewarding. And I don't think I can
say that all the time because even, I used to love my job. Like it's so funny because I just like casually tell people now I hate my job. And if people like look at me with sympathy, but it's just like 2 years ago, I was obsessed with my job. I was, performing within the top 10% of the nation in the company. Wow. I mean, it was great. My bonuses were great. I loved it. And now I can't even, I have ADD, like ADHD at my desk. I can't even focus. Like I'm thinking about the snakes.
I don't see any snakes up in here.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like I'm pretty sure my job has an expiration date. I don't know when, but I just can't see myself like being there for much longer. And it may be, you know, a decade from now, but I just don't want to do it anymore. And that's so fucked up. It's so messed up because I mean, I make good money. I put, you know, I'm doing this by myself as a mom and I have no worries, you know, and a struggling artist life does not sound attractive to me in any fashion, you know? So it's just like, I don't know how I got here from where I was, but I'm here and I'm trying to like, you know, manage it. So we'll see what the future holds.
Sure.
Well, I think that it sounds like you're in a transitional place in your life, and luckily you're able to get your fix by having your snakes, taking care of your snakes. So is this your first year of reproduction?
Yes, this is my first year.
Awesome.
And I always say, like, I haven't produced anything until I see some baby snakes coming out of those eggs.
Yeah. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
That's just what I think. And it's so crazy because like people will be like, hey, do you have these adults? I want to put a deposit on the babies. I'm like, I'll sell babies when I have babies to sell.
I've gotten messages of people asking to give me money for things that are in the incubator. I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not doing that. There's no way I could even so I don't think I would ever feel comfortable. I don't care how long I've been doing this. It just doesn't feel right to do that.
So tell us about where you live and the reptile community and some of the laws in your area.
So I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. So like right in the city. And I know there are a few breeders. We have a really like great bunch of breeders here. So Circle City Constrictors is here. 31 South is here. Strange Creations. There's a few people that don't operate under a name. And then there's Cold-Blooded Cafe, as everybody knows, ARS. So there is like a lot of things out here. And it's nice because we're all pretty like close knit, you know, and I'm pretty sure it's like that in Texas, you know. So it's kind of, yeah.
Like Texas is spread out by like 1 trillion miles, but we're like the community is tight.
Yeah. So it's really close knit here. Like we hang out when it's reptile related. We hang out when it's not, you know. And I'm really grateful because a lot of them have been doing this, you know, a lot longer, and they were like very welcoming, you know, to just.
That's cool.
Yeah. As far as the laws, there aren't any laws as far as like keeping at all. That's the first thing I looked up when I was, you know, looking, and there aren't anything. There's no laws about like keeping exotic animals.
Nice.
I should say snakes. I looked into the snakes, but I know that there are like I wanted a fennec fox, but you need like a permit, and this was before the snakes. But I wanted to have like the little fox, and I couldn't without a permit. So yeah,
I almost bought a fennec fox about 2 months ago, and I was like, no. So I didn't. A little female kit. Oh, she was darling.
Yeah, it was so cute. I was gonna actually apply for the license, but I was afraid that I was gonna spend $2,000 on this animal and Nate was gonna be allergic to it. And I'm just like, no, I'm not even gonna risk that. So
they're expensive here, like really expensive, like 4,000, 5,000, something like that. Yeah.
Yes, the last one I saw was at Walter's World of Pets.
Wow.
And she was dog tame. Oh, she was cute. So tell us what other interests you have in the universe. You do a little bit of modeling, I know. Yes, girl.
Hold on. Give me a second. I'm already on Facebook. Give me a second. Let me see if I could share these.
I wish I would.
I've seen you model.
You know, it's so funny that I actually will be. Well, I might be doing another photo shoot this year, but it's going to be like centered around recreating the logo.
Oh.
So we'll see how that turns out. But I like have been buying like these pieces that have been shipped from like Israel, one was shipped from Egypt. So I've been getting some things made. So we'll see how.
Gave me chills.
Calm down.
I love costumes.
Yes. Oh my God. And they're beautiful. I was shocked at what people can do. Like
Oh
find
yeah.
it on Etsy. Like it's amazing. So
Yeah,
We got to get you guys together to do something. Marita loves dressing up.
I do.
You should see her closet. Oh my God.
I actually have a dance closet that has costumes, like all kinds of crazy stuff.
I would love to play dress up in your closet.
Oh, girl, come over. Let's see. Do you want corsets,
Right,
corn belts?
yes.
What do we? Come on, we need to dress John up. I
Yes.
think sometime.
No.
He's
I already
like,
slept in your closet once. We don't need to worry
That's
about
true. That's true. He was so tired. So I don't know if you know this, but when we relocated from New Mexico to Texas last summer, John, oh, poor sweet John, he got suckered into helping us move. And I don't know what he thought was going to happen, but he had never even seen our collection or our caging, like our big, huge retic caging. And oh boy. Yeah, there were literally blood, sweat, and tears all in one day. Yeah. Oh, I got a pretty nasty bite. John saved my life.
oh no.
Yeah, did you know about that?
No.
You want to tell the story, John, since you were conscious the whole time?
it.
No joke. I'm not even
Wow.
exaggerating.
Second.
I can
Oh,
tell
he's
what I
still-
remember.
Can
Oh,
you
he's
see
still
it?
looking for
Can you
pictures.
tap that
Oh,
picture?
yeah. Ooh, wee.
I'm not putting one of the more dicey ones up. I'm being nice.
Okay.
I'm being nice.
I love
Oh.
it. Wow.
So we're getting ready to move. How big is that girl? She's like 18,
She's about
19 feet.
Yeah, 20, pushing 20.
And we're getting ready to pull her out of Marita's living room, like out of her enclosure. And we have the entire staff there. And I'm just like, everyone give us space so that we can just kind of try to force her into this container that we were going to move her in. I was like, me and Marita will do it. Everyone else stay back. Well, me and Marita are trying to figure out the best way. And I was like, well, if you get her to run, I'll just grab the tail and go. Not a big deal. So she goes and she starts trying to get her to run. Well, the snake decided she didn't want to run. She was too curious about what was going on at the front of her cage.
Yeah.
And she started rubbing against Marita with her face, which like it's a retic thing. They rub before they bite. I was like, she's gonna bite you. You need to and right
And
after I said that,
I think she's getting ready to bite, so be careful.
right after we said that, the snake literally clamps down and wraps around twice. And I'm just like, don't move. I went in and I grabbed the back of the tail and I'm like gnawing on the tail, trying to get it to let go.
Yeah. So here's this 20-pound retic she was on my wrist. My blood was squirting out of my wrist, pouring on both sides. So John corn cobs her. And so she's like, let me just rip this flesh off of you right now, lady.
Oh,
That was fun. That was a fun part.
Do you still have a scar from that?
Yeah. So this big pink, I was filleted open. And then on the other side, just where little scratch marks where she just scraped and pulled the wound open.
So we eventually like start pouring alcohol into the retic's mouth, get it to let go.
Yeah.
I'm like grabbing it behind the head.
No,
just
she
pissed
did not
off.
let
And
go.
I'm like, well, when she finally let go, you went down. We grabbed her. I grabbed her behind the head and just started shoving it in. I was like, if I get bit, I don't care, but this has to happen. Like, we're all dead tired. This is happening right now. We don't have time for this. And then we have Marita's arm like getting wrapped in towels because that's all we had near us at the time. And I was like, we need gauze. I need some stuff to sterilize it. Like, I'm just giving them a list. And they're like, we don't have that here. We're like on bare essentials for moving. It's like, well, go to the store. Let's go right now.
So she finally got back when you poured alcohol in her mouth, you said?
So this is what I remember. So she did not release. She just, everything they did, she just got madder and madder and was twisting and pulling. And so I was like, okay, everybody just stay calm. John was like, okay, everybody be quiet, blah, blah, blah. And so people were upset. John and I were cool. Everybody else was freaking out. So I said, just stay relaxed. And I was totally relaxed. I mean, it did hurt, but I was just like, if I stay relaxed, then she'll release when she, just decides to. And then, so it had been maybe like 5 minutes with my wrist just squirting blood. And mind you, it's like 110 degrees. And we had already, this is like day 2 of no sleep. We're literally moving things that are, some of the stuff was over 1,000 pounds probably that we were moving, like stock, like livestock pens. And so we were already like tired, overheated. So I'm leaning against the cage, and I told John, I said, because I kept telling everyone, I'm fine, just stay relaxed. And then I said, actually, I am starting to get a little bit dizzy because I had lost so much blood, no joke. And then I just lost consciousness.
Oh.
That's when she released. And so I hit the floor. She let me go. And then I popped back up and I said, is she okay? And they were like, what? We thought you were dead. And I was like, are you guys okay? And I mean, it was bad. And so they're like, yes, we have her secure. And they were like, oh my God. Like they were. And
you skipped the part where you almost like bashed your head in on a mini
oh,
fireplace.
well, see, I was unconscious during that time. There was
Oh.
something behind me, a heater or something, that I just went down and my head was like 2 inches from
literally like this far away when she fell. And I was like,
so I almost
I'm
got
going to
a
deal with head
terrible-
trauma too. This is going to be great.
Yeah, so John was the perfect man to have there by my side because you were like a medic
Mhm.
in the
I was
military.
a combat medic in the Army.
So I mean, right there, we were in combat, baby, and he had my back. So then we have this doofus that we know. Should we get into the doofus?
Go ahead.
Okay,
I'll let you handle all of this.
Oh God, John can't even speak of it. Okay,
I despise this man.
yes.
Oh no.
So
Right.
he's just a special guy. Okay, but the thing about him also is that his work ethic is not super strong. So during this whole incident, he was laying on the couch sleeping. So John was like, Dave, do you think you could maybe go to the store and, I don't know, buy some medical supplies? And he was like, what? And yeah. Then he was like, well, I don't know if I have enough money. And my daughter was like, I have a job. Like, let's go.
Wow.
Props to Emmy. She's the bomb. But they go to the store. I get all wrapped up. I had to call my doctor's office, and my doctor was like, what did you do this time? And I said, let me tell ya. I said, I just got a pretty serious non-venomous snake bite. I said, it's very likely to get infected. I do not have time to come and see you, but I do need antibiotics, and I need them like now because we are moving to Texas right now. And there's a 40-foot flatbed outside that's charging us by the minute. So hurry. And okay, also, when we were moving my washing machine, we broke some water valve, so the water was shut off. Here I go to the pharmacy, covered in blood, sweaty, partially bandaged, and then I had to go buy duct tape so we could package all of our venomous, like double secure the lids. And people were like, why do you need this? And so for 2 days, I was covered in blood while we drove from New Mexico to Texas. And it was exciting.
Wow.
Oh, and then when we opened up, so she was in, this is probably shouldn't be sharing this. She was in a pool of my blood in her tub because they just got her in there and secured her.
Uh-huh.
When we opened that, it smelled like a carcass because it was like hot. And I was like, that's my rotting blood. Yeah, I mean, it was not fun. No part of that was fun.
Oh my God.
Can we never move in summer again?
Yeah,
That's
and
all.
then moving the enclosures, though, I think was even the worst part. Yeah, there were tears. quite a few.
Oh, it wasn't even the
I
retic
didn't
enclosures.
cry.
I was fine with the retic enclosures.
We
It was
didn't get
when
them
I
moved.
well, I got them separated. I had
That's true.
one or two of them outside, but when I started taking the pig enclosure apart is when the tears started forming.
Yeah, John got a little boo-boo, and we all were like super tired, and everybody was pissed off, and like we hadn't had food. And the trucker guy with the flatbed was like, I gotta be back. And we were like,
Well,
yeah, it was fun. So when we got here, John disappeared shortly after we arrived, and I did discover him asleep in the closet. Okay, I mean we had okay, don't get me wrong. We unloaded.
We unloaded everything. I didn't just disappear on them.
No. After a point in time, after all the critical stuff was taken care of, like the animals were inside, John disappeared. And I was like, is he what? Huh? Where's John? And I found him curled up in a closet asleep.
It's just to your right, I believe.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh,
yeah,
yep.
my office closet, which is a really big closet.
Wow.
Yeah.
I shoved a little single mattress in there and I fell asleep.
It was really cute.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So so you're getting ready to move. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, but actually, I have a few people here that are going to help me. So that's great because
John.
I'm not going all the way over there. Sorry. But you can go ahead and put Ryan's ass to work.
Right. That's just helping me. Because there's nobody in my family that's going to help me move these racks. Like, come on. Like, I mean, if there's no, if they don't have to deal with any snakes, but at some point in time, they're going to have to come into contact or they're going to have to see a snake. So, yeah, you can rule out my family members.
Okay. So my next question is, unless somebody else has a burning question, how much harassment are you receiving at this point? Because you're getting very quickly well known, and obviously you're a beautiful woman, and unfortunately that comes with some unpleasantries.
What's interesting is that I think that it has calmed down a lot in the beginning. When I was less well known, I think it was so much worse. It was so much worse. I'd get like just random messages. Now it's a lot of people asking questions about breeding or about what I have for sale or about my collection or how I got started. I get like a bunch of super nice messages too from people just talking about like my journey or them like, following me on YouTube. Every now and then, so like when I'm on Facebook, I accept a lot of friend requests. If I go on your page and there's anything reptile related on your page, I'm likely going to accept the friend request. But then it's irking. It's very irking to me when like people want to like chat, like
oh my god.
And I have to tell people, I was like, I didn't do that with Facebook before I was doing anything. It's like I didn't use Facebook to like chat or date. Right. Don't hit me up trying to date or chat about stuff. Like it's just not my thing. So like it's very irking to me when I get those messages because I like to think of myself as a nice person. And I like to stay that way, Right. There's a few times where like, I'll accept a friend request and it's just like, I'll get a hey. And of course I'm going to say hey back because I don't know if they're reaching out because they have a question or what. And then it's just like, what's up? Nothing. Nothing's up. Yeah. And nothing's going to be up. So please. So it's just like I've had to tell people, of course, politely that I don't chat on Facebook. And it's just like, what do you chat on?
With you, nowhere.
Yep. And it's
never.
My family members make fun of me because I'm super introverted and no one ever believes me when I tell them this. But I am. And it's crazy because I have like social anxiety and all that stuff. So I'm not really like a super outgoing person unless it's like intimate settings. Like if I'm in a crowd of like 10 people and everyone's like, it's like a game night and everybody's talking, you'll find me in the corner. If I'm at a restaurant and I'm with like 3 or 4 people, I won't shut up. Like I'll be the one talking the most because I talk a lot. But so it's like different settings. But in my cell phone, I have probably like 11 contacts in my phone, and it's just like my family and close friends. If I don't talk to you every day, you're probably not saved in my contacts. So it's just like, so I'm not that type of person that's just gonna talk to somebody that I just absolutely don't know. It doesn't make me feel comfortable.
Right.
Like it just, and I hate small talk. I despise it. I despise it. Like if we're not talking about something real, we don't have to talk at all. Don't ask me about the weather. Don't ask me about sports. I don't care about any of that. If you want to talk about reptiles, you want to talk about parenting, you want to talk about anything that I can like actually relate to and talk about and get excited about, then good luck trying to shut me up. But other than that, I'm just like a zipped mouth. So yeah.
So yeah, so I'll just be like, if they're like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, I'm working. Like, maybe you should. I don't know. Get a life. No, but I'll say like, may I help you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you have a question?
Yeah, that's exactly how you have to be. Like, that's what I've been doing lately. If they're like, what's up? Nothing. And, do I know you? Do you want to, I mean, like, it's literally, you have to kind of bring out the creep, and that sucks. It sucks when it comes out, but sometimes I don't like to assume that that's what it is.
Yeah. And sometimes it's someone totally nice. And sometimes it's somebody like just wanting to connect with you and like give you a compliment or say like, I respect you. And that's great. I don't mind that at all. But I don't chat on social media. If you have a question about animals, I'm all for it. And I try.
Or if you want to chat about animals, I could chat about more reading all day, but please do not ask me like, so where do you work? Like I've gotten the weirdest questions. Like I've had people asking for my cell phone number so they can get to know me.
No.
I wanted to give my cell phone number out to a stranger. I'd have it on my page in big letters. Like what?
Yes, I totally agree. Okay, so
I don't have that problem.
So, what's your bucket list morph? Or I know you said you have like big dreams of in the future working with another species. What would be like no holds barred, like don't worry about money, the laws, like what would be your bucket list species to work with? So either morph or species, whichever you want to talk about.
I think that if I had the space that I wanted, like the ultimate space that I wanted, I would get a Burmese python.
Ooh.
That is my dream snake.
Now, do you have a morph of Burm that you are really hot after?
No, I love the pattern, because like I said, I've always been like a pattern person, not color. And the pattern, from my knowledge, doesn't change too much with Burmese. Is that right?
No. Well, like with the granite, it's more speckled, but most of the morphs are color diversity.
Right.
There's not tons of morphs. They do have pied Burms now.
I've seen those too.
Yeah. But still, that's not a common Burm. I mean, there's not tons of pied Burmese out yet.
Right. So yeah, it's just pretty much, like I said, this just the Burmese in general. Of course, I feel like once I don't like to think too much about wanting something or getting it, because again, it's 0 to 100. So it's just like I would convince myself that I could do it, and I can make this, and then I would be in over my head. So I just know that further down the line, once I'm ready and I have that space, that I would look into getting a Burmese, and not necessarily to breed, like not at all to breed. It would literally just be to own one. That would be my dream snake.
Yeah, I love Burms a lot. One of my first serious belly dancing snakes was a Burmese python named Sesha, and she was a rescue, and they're like, you're never going to be able to touch this snake. I was like, you watch, mister. And like 6 months later, she was belly dancing with me in public, people coming up, taking pictures with us, touching her. And obviously I was always very careful. I mean, anytime you have a large snake, and she was probably 8 feet at that time.
Mm-hmm.
She died last year, finally. Yeah. I mean, we don't know what she had been through before we ever got her. She was a young adult. Well, a smaller adult when we got her. She might have already been old. I mean, we don't know. But she lived a good life with us, I think. had a lot of pictures taken of her and a lot of people petting her. And she actually did really well in public once I kind of got her over that initial fear. And she was a really good weight, really good size. By the end of me dancing with her, if the middle of her body was over my shoulders, her head and tail were like on the ground.
Oh wow.
So that's a pretty big, and you know, she was not overweight, but she had some girth to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a cutie pie. Now I only have small berms right now, only maybe 5 or less. But yeah, I like them. I have about 20 retics, so that's kind of a lot of big snakes.
Yeah.
And boas, quite a few boas too. But okay, I have to know about your hair care routine, because every time I see you, you're just wow.
point.
Wow. Well, Mary and I have been talking about hair all weekend, so let's just bring you into the party.
Well, it's so funny because I tell people right now I'm going through like a little bit of like an awkward stage where my hair is kind of growing. The front is growing longer than the back. So
It's beautiful.
Mhm.
thank you. And you know, I've been natural for maybe I think 6 years now.
Congratulations.
Wow, yes.
Thank you. It was
you
so hard at first.
Did you do the big chop, or did you just go natural and deal with it?
I transitioned because it was,
Hmm.
I felt like I've never really had short hair. So I didn't know like, you know, what it was going to look like. And I wasn't that brave. My
Right.
sister, she went natural first and she like chopped off all her hair. And I was just like,
Whew.
I can't do that. What if it doesn't grow back? You know, it's just like, you don't have realistic expectations in your head when you're like thinking, like, it just seems so irrational for me to do. So I did it slowly. And I think it was worse because there's nothing worse than dealing with like straight hair and then like really curly hair underneath.
Yeah.
And there were times where I had to do my hair, accept it, and then learn to love myself when I walked out the door. Like it was just like, this is not what I imagined this to look like, but hey, this is what you got. So now that I've kind of grown into knowing what my hair likes and what I can do to it, it's a lot easier, and I get to have fun with it. You know, I like the versatility and being able to wear it straight or wear it curly or wear it poof or whatever I really want to do with it. You asked me what else am I into?
Yeah.
And I'm really heavily like into like herbs. Like I'm a huge herbal enthusiast.
Yes.
And it's crazy because I'll make like tea, different types of tea, and I'll like pour it right on my head. If people always ask like, how did you put your hair so soft? And that's like, I use tea like as a conditioning treatment.
Wow.
Like,
what kind of tea?
So it's not like your traditional, like what you would think like chamomile or something like that. It's literally like different herbs. So like my favorite herb.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So like slippery elm root, burdock root, you know, lavender is a huge one. We have so many different types. And I mean, even in my kitchen, I probably have over 100 jars of different herbs, you know, that I like work with.
You have an apothecary.
Cool. When I first got into it, I was like these. So when I first got into herbal like stuff, I was actually doing it to help with my asthma. Like somebody, I met this guy. It was a friend of my sister's at a hookah bar, and of course I have asthma, and I'm at a hookah bar smoking because I'm an idiot. But you know, like I like what I like, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't breathe. It's kind of hard, but you know, it's okay. It'll pass. You know. And he's like, you probably shouldn't be smoking. And he's like, if you are, then you probably like want to like treat it with like natural remedies. And I asked him what he was talking about, and he told me like different herbs kind of open up your lungs, like you know, clear inflammation. So I started doing some research, and oh man, you would be amazed at like what you can make, what you can eat or ingest or drink to get over different ailments. So like, I started looking into that for my asthma, and I really, I mean, asthma is not really curable. You can kind of get over it and live with it, but
you can treat it. Right.
So now I like as I was treating my asthma, it started treating like different other conditions that I have, like my allergy, my eczema, which I don't have any of those anymore. Like I completely cured both of those things.
No, I've seen that flawless skin. It's beautiful.
I had
Not
terrible
all of it.
acne.
Enough.
My acne was horrible. I'm talking about like
Wow.
pizza face. Like it was bad. Just maybe 4 or 5 years ago, drinking the tea and doing everything I was doing, I don't have acne problems anymore. Like, so it's just
Wow.
all these things that I started doing. I, got rid of my son's eczema and his skin issues. So like I'm definitely into that. So when I started doing that, I'm like thinking, if it does all this, I wonder if it can make my hair grow.
Hell yeah.
Did, so it's just like I just kind of started doing that, and it's been amazing. Like it's been like a really, really great journey, to the point where I kind of wanted to stop growing because it's just a lot of work. Like it takes like 4 hours to do hair. It's ridiculous. Right. And I got snakes to take care of. So
I know. My husband will be like, "You gotta wash your hair today? Can't you go another week?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll just wear it up."
So I literally like
that roll out of bed life's nice. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I condition my hair every 5 days. It's exhausting. Like it is exhausting. So sometimes I can go a little longer, but at that point I'm not taking care of it. So yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. City's growing her hair out, and my hair doesn't have as difficult as a texture as yours, but it's long.
Yeah.
So
it's just too thin. I hate my hair.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, extensions.
Hey, girl. Nobody knows.
Now they do.
Nobody knows.
Because my real hair comes to like maybe about here when it's straight, but like I wear weave all the time. Like I'll throw some weave in there, and then I'll go to the store and they're like, "Oh, did it take you a long time to do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
it did."
Yeah, they're like, "Did you do that yourself?" Yep, I did it myself.
You know what's funny? When I wear my hair really curly and like natural curls, people are like, "Oh, I love your wig." I'm like,
wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know how long this took?
I've actually had people ask me if I was wearing a wig a few times. That's
a compliment. It's a compliment.
It's like when it's like super big, it's really humid
right.
here. So the hotter it is, and the more humid it is, I look like a lion sometimes. It just grows and grows and grows.
A sexy lion.
That is right.
I think Chris nailed it on the head right now.
Yes. So Chris said that Chris Eaton said John looks very uncomfortable.
I feel like my estrogen levels are like about to shoot out of the roof right now.
Is that why your face is turned?
You're welcome.
Uh-oh.
We didn't talk about makeup.
Well, it's good JD in
it's
here
kind of getting there.
No kidding. All right, John, your turn. Shoot. It better be good too.
Yep.
So I know you're deep into Desert Ghosts. What other recessives do you want to work with? I'm getting it back to Snake Talk, something I can actually have a conversation with. Sorry, Precious.
No, what? So as far as recessives, I feel like it's just the normal what everybody says about recessive because but so Desert Ghost, some hypo, but I'm not. I like hypo, but I like hypo when it's paired to Desert Ghost. So most of my hypo plans will be with like Desert Ghost. Right now, I'm really excited about my Blackhead Clown project that I'm working on. So I have a Blackhead girl that's completely ready, and she's already started kind of showing signs that she's building. And I paired her with the clown, and then I'm trying to get more female clowns in my collection so that when I have male Blackhead het clowns, they, I can just go ahead and, pair them. I want to be smart with the pairing so that my projects can take a shorter amount of time.
Yeah, smart.
So, yeah. So just pretty much that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else recessive wise.
Is there any T positive albino that you're going after?
What is it?
Sydney back into the conversation too. Has Sydney tried to sell you on a monarch yet? Is what I'm saying.
Oh, not yet. I haven't gotten to yet.
She sold me one today. Best brunch ever.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes. All right, Sid, your turn.
Oh, I had one. but then I thought I was almost out of my mimosa and got distracted.
Oh, we could use a refill. Boss boy.
So, do you have any other like mammals at home with you, or do you just really
other
work
than
with
your child?
Yeah.
Right. No, he's the only mammal as of right now. But with the new house, though, I definitely, since he's not allergic to dogs, I am actually allergic, but it's mild.
So am I.
So I do plan on getting him a dog. I'm kind of torn between whether I go ahead and do the whole hypoallergenic or if I just, take an L and get him a dog that, he would pick out himself, which I would be allergic to. But yeah, so no other mammals. But I am looking forward to having the opportunity to like have a dog, because even living in this apartment, I've been here for maybe like 10 years, and it's great because it's like right downtown Indianapolis. It's the best area to me in Indy. And I'm just like, I walk out the door and I'm like 3 feet from a bar. So it's just again.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We need to visit.
Yeah, I know. Let's get out of here.
Do you have room for 2 more mammals in your house for like a 4-day weekend, maybe?
It doesn't get any right. Exactly. Hey, okay, we have a good time. I'll show you all of downtown. We can hit up everywhere.
Yes.
But so it kind of makes me sad that I'm leaving a little bit, but I never really got that experience to have like the home and the backyard and just the property. And every time I'm bringing in rats, like I have like the tub of rats back there, and I carried it in right through the front door, and I'm just like, God, someone's gonna see me. I'm gonna be recorded.
Well, okay, I'll tell you something. So we went from a house in the country to a house in the country. Like, I don't get dressed to go outside in the morning, and it's magical.
I know it is.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're gonna love it. So tell us about your new home.
So it is kind of I feel like everywhere in Indiana or Indianapolis outside of downtown is a suburb. Like it's just Indianapolis is just one big old suburb, unless you're like somewhere out in like the country, which we have that too. But I didn't really move out towards that area because it's literally in the middle of nowhere. And at the end of the day, I feel like I'm still a woman and I'm still like not comfortable living by myself out in the middle of nowhere without like. So it's like a suburb, but it's like it's a neighborhood of houses. So it's much bigger than where I'm at now, which is a lot because it's a pretty big apartment. I think even my apartment now is maybe 1,200, 1,300 square foot, pretty decent size. But where I'm moving now, it's going to be 2,000, so almost double. And it just gives me that space that I need, much more than I even need. So I'm really excited. When they started the construction last week, and it'll be finished in 6 months. So it's with how construction works, they don't ever want to give you like a actual
right.
So it'll be a 3-bedroom though, and then a loft, and then they'll have a garage. So right now I'm kind of like going back and forth between like where I need to put my reptile room, because I get feedback from a lot of people, because I know that Shane at Small Town, he was keeping his collection in his garage when he was in Cali for forever, and I'm just like, oh, so you can. I never really even thought to like utilize the garage at the snake area, which that's an awesome option. Or we went over to DCI Exotics, which he's here in Indy, and he was utilizing his loft space, and that looked really, really cool. And then of course you have like the normal reptile room. So I definitely have options, and I have a lot to think about, but I know that the room, which would be like, I feel like most ideal because you can close it off, and it's it's the smallest of all 3. So so I don't know. I think, but it's nice to have the option to start off in the room and then move it to the garage or the loft.
Definitely. So I'll tell you this from experience, because we've had our collection in our house, and then we built a facility in New Mexico. It wasn't anything fancy, but it was outside of our house, which is great because we keep all kinds of stuff, stuff that, if it gets out, you don't want it crawling into bed with you. Which it's back in our house again, I'll clarify. Yeah, we have a bigger place here, and it's kind of we're in like an old farmhouse, so and it's sort of separated by the kitchen. So sort of that we have the business on one side of the house, and then we kind of live on the other side of the house. So it's really nice. But we do plan on putting a building up here as well. But what I was going to say is the harder your room is to access, like if it's in a loft all by itself, you're going to check on your animals less. It's just natural to where if your reptile room is next door to your bedroom or next door to your girls getting to you, the further they are away from where you are, where you spend your time, thing like neglecting, but you'll catch more and you'll be more in tune with your collection if they're closer to you. Yeah, that's just, and then you might want to, like, if you're going to breed rodents, do them in your garage.
Oh God, rodents is a whole
yeah.
nother friggin' thing.
I said we're not breeding we're not going to breed rodents in this house. We're not doing that until we set a place up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
fun.
Yeah, I can definitely, because I was thinking about doing rodents in the garage, and now I'm just like, you know what? I mean, because I'm being honest, I've been to a few people's houses where they do it in the house, and their house, even if it doesn't smell bad, it smells like rodents. And it just, I don't want that, for me. But the place that I'm moving, it cannot be like my forever place because one, it's an HOA, which is they're horrible in itself. Any explanation, but they will not allow me to build a shed in the back, and that's unacceptable to me. So completely unacceptable. So my plan is to turn that property into an investment property once I've lived in it for a few years. Nice. And then, but because I needed to, the housing market, as everybody knows, is so terrible right now. I needed something bigger because I just have outgrown this apartment so quickly that when I found out that it wasn't everything I wanted, I just had to make the decision to go ahead and do it instead of waiting and then continuing to look for a house while I'm there.
Right.
That's my plan. And then ideally, I want to have a property, a house where I can build room enough for my snakes and anything else I would want to add. And then also like rodents, because I eventually see myself breeding my own food, so.
It's worth it, even though it's a lot of work, but it's so worth it.
It's a whole extra operation, though. Yeah. So, John, you're doing it now. We used to do it. So, tell us the best and the worst of breeding rodents.
How much time do you want to spend a week doing it?
30 seconds. Yeah. No, just kidding. Give us a rundown.
But like, in all honesty, I spend probably around 10 to 12 hours a week right now, which it's not bad at all. Just cleaning, watering, checking babies, sexing, separating, all that good stuff. Driving them to the pet store because I only need 40 a week to feed my collection, and I'm producing probably around 250 to 300 a month right now. So I'm sitting where I could sell a few right now within the next couple of months. I'll probably be producing about 1,500 a month. So it's going to become a real operation. I can tell you being right there with Cold Blooded Cafe is probably your best friend right now.
Yes, because they only sell online and it's all frozen. But the breeders that live here in Indy, they let us come pick up live, which is a big deal because we're still in Indiana and there's like a mice shortage. They're not selling mice right now, live mice anymore. So it's really hard to find someone who sells mice. And then, but a breeder actually started doing it small scale, and he's kind of helping everybody out. So that's awesome. Like, he's again, just one of us. And he's just like, yep, I'm going to breed mice for all of us. And that's like, that's why I say it's like a family. It's really, really dope that, we have those connections. So I don't see myself, moving too far from Cold-Blooded. I always want to stay like within a certain distance between Cold-Blooded and ARS. At the end of the day, when you're living in Indianapolis, you're not far from anything. But when you're living in a different county, like, or like somewhere in some small town in Indiana, it can get to be a far drive. So I want to avoid that.
One side of Indy to the other can be a long drive too at times.
Yeah.
Like I remember being a truck driver and having to drive through there. And I would think that it was after rush hour. I'm talking like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And you're like, oh, there's not going to be anyone on the road. And it's stop and go traffic at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm really bad at that because I'm just like, oh, so and so. I was talking to somebody and I was like, oh yeah, I don't remember what town or what little area it was, but I was like, yeah, that's close. And they're like, no, it's really, really far. And I'm like, but I live downtown, so everything is central to me. So where I am, everything is the same distance in either direction when you're talking about like sides of town. But when you're all the way on the north side and you got to drive to the south side, of course, it's going to be like 35-40 minute drive, so
wow.
So I'm actually moving far east in this city or a town called Lawrence, Indiana. So that's actually far, but it's not too far from ARS or Cold Blooded Cafe, so that's good.
Good. So overall, you're just like this amazing force of power. You are just such a dynamic woman, and I'm so glad that you're in our industry. So how did you get to be so awesome? Just like, wow, beautiful, smart, accomplished, independent. I love it. What's your secret? What's your secret?
That is a matter of opinion, so I can't even
teach us.
Appreciate your opinion. No, I feel like I'm just a laid back person. I like to take it easy, and I don't take anything too serious ever.
That's good.
So, yeah.
So, who would you say like your idols or mentors are in the hobby?
As far as idols, or people that I look up to, I feel like I will always look up to Billy. And I think like it's because, when I would watch him back in the beginning, just seeing him promote other people and, with his platform, like we all have our own kind of platform and we can use it in any way that we want to. And to see him that way, that was amazing to me. And then, to be completely honest, he gave me my first foot up, in the industry. I was recognized because of his channel. And I don't think I'll ever forget that, so I would definitely say if I had to pick one, it would definitely be him. And as far as like mentoring goes, Billy was always super cool. And I know that like I had I asked him to be my mentor, I feel like he would not have hesitated to say yes. But I also know that he was, building that platform and he had his Patreon. And I don't think it would have been fair, because I was communicating with him, like, just on a more personal level, and so I wasn't going to ask him when I knew that he had that. If I was going to ask him to be my mentor, I was going to pay for his Patreon, and which I do. And then, but there's levels to it, and I'm not paying for the level. They're just, still a single mom. Okay.
Yeah.
It is. So like, but, so I wasn't going to ask him for that, but so right now what I do as far as mentorships go, I just reach out to the people that I know and that, are kind of doing what I'm doing. I feel like we're learning from each other, and I love that, so Ryan, 31 South Exotics, we talk every day. I'm bouncing stuff off of him every day. And he's heavily into like the Desert Ghost and hypo stuff. And when I have like ideas when it comes to like different pairings and different projects, he's the first person I'm talking to, and we're just like, we'll talk snakes for hours. But he's definitely one of them. And then we have like our own like group chat with DCI Exotics and Circles Constrictors and Baker Sturgeon, and we're just showing each other all of our clutches, and it's just love all around. There's always
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're just sharing accomplishments, and it's just really, really awesome. So that's kind of what I do as far as being mentored. I just stay connected with the people around me, and make sure I'm asking questions and knowing that there's always something to learn, period.
Very nice.
So speaking of clutches, Someone had her first 2 clutches. Can you walk us through that? Like, what was your initial reaction with the first one? Because I know we were talking about it a little bit, and then we were talking at Arlington, and then the clutch came, and everything seems to be blowing up since then, which I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Freaking amazing. But just kind of walk us through the process, because I remember my first one, and I was like, holy fuck, holy shit, babe, get the camera.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the first one, it was like a few days before Arlington, and I wasn't expecting her to lay. I didn't see any, but again, it was so hard for me because you don't know what you're looking for, right? It's just like, right. I'm taking pictures every day, like, Ryan, is this an ovulation? Is this a tail suck? What am I doing? Am I doing this right? Like, it was horrible. Like, I felt so much anxiety in those weeks, like leading up to thinking I was going to have eggs. And then Baker came over, he brought his ultrasound. We ultrasounded like all of my females that I was anticipating were going to go. And it was awesome because 2 of them one showed that she had eggs in her, and another showed that she was at like 35 millimeters, right? Mm-hmm. So the one that had eggs, that was the one I was not expecting whatsoever to even go. She was the smallest one that I had. I think she's maybe like 1,800 grams. And wow. I came home one day, and I'm just checking tubs, and she was coiled in a way I had never seen her wrapped ever. And I'm like, I almost had a heart attack. I couldn't catch my breath. I was just like, that's not eggs. I know that's not eggs. And then so like, I kind of like touched her neck a little bit, and she like moved to the side, and there was just pearly whites under there. And I was like, oh my God, this is not real. I was like sweating immediately. And I don't sweat. Like, I was sweating. So then I'm like scrambling, like, okay, I got to record this. I got to get this on camera. I looked a hot mess. Like, I just was like, really frantic. I didn't have my incubator set up. Like, I was so unprepared, but
oh my gosh,
psyched myself out because I prepared you last year. I thought I was going to get eggs. I had set up the incubator. It was on for a month, wasted a whole month of energy, and nothing. So I was just like, I'm not getting eggs this year. Like, Ryan had to like talk me off the ledge a few times. Like, I'm just like, it's not going to happen. And he's just like, you're going to get eggs. I'm like, you don't know that. It's just like really just trying not to like hype myself up, because when I get excited, I get really excited. So like I was over the moon. So I was rushing, scrambling to get the egg box together, get the incubator together. And then I put everything in the incubator. And then like 2 days later, I think the next day I had to go to Arlington, which I didn't want to go anymore. And I was just like, I just want to stay here with my eggs. Like, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was freaking out like, man, what's going to happen if like, the power goes out, or, I was like freaking out. And, obviously came back, everything was good. And then maybe like 2 weeks after that, I had another girl ovulate, and it was my first time seeing an actual ovulation. And everyone always says, when you see it. And I just didn't believe that, because there was a few times where I was like, no, I think that's it. But then when I saw her ovulate, I was like, yeah, that's an ovulation. Like, she hadn't ate in like 4 months, and like she looked like she just had like a jumbo rat in her belly. Like, and then I picked her up, and she was just like, like what? It was crazy. So I I went ahead and like of course put her back, and now I've just been like monitoring her. She's actually going into shed, and it's just so crazy. Like there's a few like breeding guides that I would follow. Like Marcus Jane, he has a really, really good one. And I would like reading them and watching these videos, and they have like that timeline guide of breeding.
Right.
And I was so anal about like documenting everything that I would go and check the dates. And it is legit a fact that it's just like 30 days, they do this, 21 days after shed, they do. And it's just like boom, boom, boom. Like this last girl that laid, the highway girl, because after she ovulated, I had another girl that actually laid her eggs. I didn't catch her ovulation back when or whenever, but I was able, once I saw that she had shed, I didn't catch her ovulation, but I caught her prelay shed, and I knew that it was her prelay shed because she was the girl that was at 35 millimeters. So when she shed, I counted exactly like 30 days, and she laid on the date she was supposed to lay, and that blew my mind. Like, it just blew my mind because I just wasn't expecting it to be so on par, and it is. Yeah. So it's just been amazing. I'm like super excited. And then today I checked another girl's tub, and she's in the beginnings of an ovulation, which again is just so crazy that I'm actually able to see that now. So based off of the girl that ovulated most recently, I caught her beginnings of her ovulation, well, and it was 10 days she had fully ovulated. So like now I'm just like, okay, 10 days, we'll see what happens, you know. So, and then I have another girl that is showing signs that she's gonna go. So, and then my desert girl who we actually ultrasounded her like a month ago, and he was like, yeah, she's not going this year. And I'm like, you know, damn it. And now she's bowl wrapping and she's building, and she's definitely gonna go. So I'm pumped. Like, I think it's gonna be the best season ever that I could have.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, I honestly get crazy excited anytime there's anything hatching out of eggs or any girl gives birth, because to me, it's a miracle every time. It could be the most plain Jane, whatever. I still get excited. It's amazing. I mean, it is so amazing. It could be a boa giving birth, a rattlesnake giving birth. It could be a turtle laying eggs. I mean, I get excited by eggs. I get excited by hatching. I get excited. It's incredible.
The second time it happened, I was just like, okay, it's not gonna be a big deal. I'm just like, I have eggs again. And I'm gonna tell all of you guys whether you want to hear tonight.
Yes, so exciting.
That video was too precious. It was too precious. Like, me and my wife were laughing so hard. She's like, "Oh, I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. It is."
I'm talking.
Was that a good impersonation? I worked really hard for that.
That was good. That was good.
That was perfect, actually. Yeah, I did not think I was gonna be that excited, and I think like clutch number 100, I'm gonna be like, I got eggs, you guys, and they're like, okay, we don't care. Like, you had eggs.
Well, I do. Yeah. So we'll be in your corner.
Thanks.
Okay. So it's getting on to an hour and a half now. So I said we'd try to keep it at an hour. Okay. So I want you to speak to our ladies out here. Okay. If there is a woman out there that's considering dipping her toe in the industry or is in the industry and they're feeling pushed out, I want you to give her some words of wisdom.
Okay. That's gonna be easy because, I feel like as a woman, you know, in this industry, I feel like it's really easy to kind of psych yourself out in your head, right? And doubt yourself, and you compare yourself to the men in the industry, and you already feel less than. And I think that is exactly what it is. It's all in our head, you know. Obviously, there's some truth to the fact that we may be slightly downplayed, you know, in the hobby. But at the end of the day, there's nothing that we can't do that they're doing, you know? So I think that, you know, if you're a woman in this industry and you're doing this, you just have to believe in yourself, promote yourself. And however way you want to promote yourself, we
go.
Don't let anybody make you feel like you have to do it any type of way.
Right.
And, you know, just follow your dreams. You know, that is what I have to say about that.
Awesome. What about you, Sid?
I couldn't have said it any better. I can't follow that. Oh, hell no.
Okay, John, what would you say to someone newer in the industry that's feeling discouraged?
Just don't give up. Follow what you want to do. Like, if this is in your heart, then actually do it. If it's not, then find what is in your heart.
That's a good one. Because some people get into it. Oh, go finish what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel like some people get incentivized by, they end up going to a show with somebody and they're like, oh, there's a lot of money in this or whatever. Yeah. If you realize that raising animals is not for you, it's okay to pass your project on to someone else and find your passion. But if it truly is your passion, stick with it. There's so many people that said, I was working on that project and I sold it off because so-and-so said it was no good and now it's blowing up. Or, oh, I was going to get into colubrids, but they were like a freaking garbage snake. Nobody wanted them. And now they're the hot shit again.
Absolutely. That's another thing that I would totally tell anybody in this industry who's trying to get into it, go to the shows, go meet people, go talk to people, because they will be behind you the entire way. This industry is the best industry to be a part of.
It is.
And no matter if you're, everybody's going to feel intimidated at some point, but get out there and talk, because people this last month and a half, 2 months, everybody's been trying to get me doing these videos, and I'm finally like, oh yeah, I'll go do it. I got you, whatever. And I'm like, hell yeah. But it's hard to get out there. And so I know the struggles of that completely. Get out there, talk to people, because you'll feel so much better. Everybody has your back in this industry. Well, the majority of the people. And there's always going to be some haters, but that's kind of part of it. So
and you have to promote yourself, because no one else is going to do it.
Right. Exactly.
Like, and when you're talking about going to these shows, it is a thing, because like I said, I am extremely introverted, and even if I'm not anxious socially, it's draining for me slightly. So like, even when I came back from the show, I was tired. Like, I needed a few days to rest, because the excitement, like, it wasn't even like a bad thing. It was just like, I've met so many people, and it was the most awesome weekend of my life. Like, I can literally say that that's how awesome it was. And it was still draining, but I will never not miss a show moving forward. If I have to take time to like energize myself beforehand, I'm going to go to every show, and I'm going to socialize, and I'm going to, meet people, get my name out there, see who else is out there, who's working with what. Like, it's just so important, because at the end of the day, at those types of shows, there's always so much. Like, I spent the time talking with people and walking around, and there was still so much that I could have done that I wasn't able to, it, like, there wasn't enough time in a weekend, that's why
there never is.
Never. So I definitely support that. Like, the shows are so important, and not even, I thought I was going to go there and record something. I didn't record anything. I was like, I'm not going to these shows to pick up a camera, and I'm just going to literally like socialize, and
there's no substitute for going and having the experience of interacting with people face to face, other breeders. And she had a wake of fans drooling after her the whole time, including me.
When I saw Precious walk in, I was like, oh my God, she's hot as hell.
When I saw the both of you, I couldn't believe, like, it is a different, like, rush of a feeling, like, seeing that you kind of feel like, but you really don't know. But then you get to meet them. Like, it's just so awesome. Like, I was so excited. Like,
your energy is 100%. And as soon as you walked in, I was like, oh yeah, she's here. Okay. Like, I want to follow her around the whole show.
It was like the best time ever. I can't wait. I want to go to Daytona in August. So I plan on
whole party.
Yeah, I really, if everything goes as planned, I just cross my fingers. I should be going there. I want to stop by Kobe Nelson's. He's doing some fire stuff right now. Like, he's been producing some amazing things. So Bush Hill Reptiles, that's his business, right? Yep. So I want to stop by there in Louisiana, and then I want to go to Daytona in August. So I'm really hoping that works out.
So you're going to be back at the next NARBC, right?
Yes, my
sister. That's kind of our stomping ground, New Mexico and Texas.
Oh, every single show. I told my sister, like, I'm going to be here 3 times a year. Okay, because
you're ready to babysit.
Right, exactly. So she lives in Texas, and I have, like, it's nice because it's something that allows me to go there and spend time with her. But I think the next time I go down there, it was really hard splitting up time between her and people and like networking. I didn't get to go to Earl's, and I was pissed because party. I was pissed. I was like, next time.
It was so fun. We were there like laughing until we peed until like 2:00 in the morning.
Brent up.
Oh my! Oh yeah!
Antoine was like, What are you doing?
Yeah, that was bananas.
Yeah,
That
I was
oh my god.
so pissed. I was like, next time I come, I'm getting the Airbnb, and I won't even tell her I'm coming. But I did not get to do everything I wanted because it's like hard to split that time between, So
Well, I want you to come to my place and come and hang out with me.
that would be so awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm definitely going to be there. What is it? It's October or is it November? I think it's
The NARBC Arlington is usually September. The
September.
Chicago show's in October.
Okay. Yep. So I'll be
And
there.
at this point, they're both supposed to happen. And Texas is opening up. Chicago's starting to kind of open back up. So
Yes. And then I'll be at the Schaumburg show too. And I'll be at the Tinley. Hopefully.
Ooh.
Schaumburg is June.
Like 20th.
It's the third week.
Something.
Yeah, it's right after Conroe.
Just put it in my calendar.
So I'll be at that one. And then I'll also be at the one in October. And then I'll be in Arlington in September.
Yay!
Yeah.
Well, last year that show getting canceled last minute. Oh, that was like a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
We weren't there yet, unlike a lot of people. But man, it's just been the pits. It's so neat to like watch everyone grow and support each other from afar. But when you actually get to be in the same room together, oh my gosh, like the power exchange is
Yes, it's like
it's
a whole
crazy.
energy. Yes, for sure.
It's amazing. And you're awesome, and you're awesome, and you're awesome. So yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I just adore you. So tell us where people can find you. And of course, we'll actually post all the links, but give us the rundown.
So I am on all social media platforms. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all Precious Pythons. And then I also have my own website, preciouspythons.com. And I'll be on Morph Market soon too when I have some babies to sell. So yeah.
Awesome. What's your favorite snack?
My favorite snack? I'm a salty foods person. Anything chips related, I'll smash them. So I like salty snacks.
Okay, so you need to come here. You need to come here. You need to come here. We're gonna go to the Red Oak Kitchen. Oh my gosh, we just had the most bomb food today. What was that thing we ordered first?
Oh, the trio dip. It was like a bunch of different cheeses and guac. Yeah, Marita fell in love.
So good.
I've been going there to get mimosas. I'm like, we need to go here for brunch. She's like,
she
I gotta go hiking this morning. I was like, you're not going hiking. We're getting
I thought I was going hiking. I didn't make it. I got up to go. I left to go, and and there was a mimosa intervention. So
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Mimosas on a Sunday. No.
Yeah, you don't do that.
No. All right, I love you all. Thank you so much, Precious. We're going to post all of her links in the description box below. Thank you, everybody. People have been like just chatting it up. Moon Over Miami, of course, Scouty Poo was on. Reese's Python, Ramiro, Chris Eaton was on talking some smack. Tavian's World was on. Just basically our regular awesome people. So I love all of you people out there in the audience. Everybody. Happy Sunday. Oh my lordy, it's almost summer vacation for me. Yes, of course I'm teaching summer school, but yay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody want to say anything before we take off?
I really want to thank you guys. This was really, really fun. Thank you so much. I always look forward to seeing your faces, and I look forward to the next time, especially in person. So
yes.
Thanks for letting me barge in today.
Yeah, that was fun. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you guys like this one, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.